Well, Marvel got some good news earlier this week because they have reached a settlement with the Ditko estate. Marvel and Disney were able to reach a settlement with a legendary artist, ensuring that Doctor Strange and Spider-Man will remain in the Marvel Universe forever. Let's take a couple minutes to break down a report and why this is a huge deal moving forward. Now, before we do that, though, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and ring that bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are really in the know. Well, if you're a Marvel fan, earlier this week, we got some pretty great news from Deadline. Now, it appears Disney has settled yet another legal battle regarding the rights of really some of their most famous characters. Marvel's battle for Spider-Man and Doctor Strange has now ended with the attorneys for the Disney-owned company and the estate of Steve Ditko working out some kind of amicable settlement following several years of legal battles. Now, at this point, all parties now expect a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice to be filed immediately, which effectively puts an end to the case. Now, if you don't know the history of all this, it's been pretty ongoing for a while. Back in 2021, Marvel filed a series of lawsuits responding to copyright termination notices from multiple Marvel creators. This included Larry Lieber and the estates of Gene Colan, Steve Ditko, Don Heck, and Don Rico. Now, at the time, some pretty big names were in play, including Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, and the Hulk, but Disney managed to quietly settle matters with pretty much everybody else back in June. But the dispute with the Ditko family continued until earlier this week. Now, this makes a lot of sense because Ditko created Spider-Man, who's absolutely the biggest character in the comic book world. He sells more merchandise than everybody by far, his face is recognizable worldwide, and adding to the fact that recently he had a movie that did over $1 billion, I'm pretty sure the Ditko estate and his family were really looking for a piece of that pie. Now, the termination notice revealed that the estate was looking to reclaim the rights from comics including Amazing Fantasy, which included Spider-Man's 1962 debut, and Strange Tales, which also included Doctor Strange's first appearance. And they were also seeking, and I quote, any character, story element, or indica reasonably associated with the works, which is a really wide net. Now, Steve Ditko himself passed away several years ago in 2018, so this suit was actually brought on by his family and their estate. Now, the trade does go on to say, and I quote, as in previous settlements and resolutions that Marvel Disney reached with the likes of the Jack Kirby estate and others, the settlements with the Ditko estate is confidential. However, a well-positioned source says that all sides are, and I quote, very satisfied with the outcome. Now, what this really means is they got a big check. I'm sure it was easily in the millions, maybe even in the tens of millions or more, but more than likely, unless there's some kind of hack that reveals a lot of documents, we're never actually going to know the full settlement. Quite honestly, I'm really happy to see the Ditko estate get paid properly. These guys that developed these characters back in the 1960s always got the short end of the stick, and pretty much every single creator has had to fight to get some money out of these companies over time. Jack Kirby had a big settlement, and even when you look at the creators of characters over on the DC side, this was pretty common practice because everybody worked as work for hire. Work for hire basically meant you were getting a weekly paycheck from the company, but what you created belonged to them. And ultimately, as these characters grew into the mega franchises that they are today, the original creators never really saw a piece. Obviously, this is some pretty good news, but I'm curious about what you think. Are you happy to see the Ditko estate finally get paid? And is there any other creator that you feel like got the short end of the creative stick? Sound off in the comments below.